Hello.
And welcome to
Let the Girls Play. I'm
I'm
Kelsey Bailey.
Amelia Bain.
And we're here to talk about women's basketball, the WNBA news. We have Unrivaled news. We have women's college basketball happening. It's all happening and we're talking about it.
This is one of those episodes where I'm like, where do we even start?
I know.
There is so much to discuss, but I think we got to start with some exciting WNBA news.
Yes. There was a lot of moving and shaking since the last time we did this episode. I feel like I'm just going to run down the contracts list because everybody is signing.
Yes. It's everybody. Look, I think they were all sort of waiting for these big moves, these big free agency moves. And then now people are like, with that information, here I go.
Here I go. So let me speed through some of these. Some of these are big surprises, culture shifting surprises, and others are like, okay, good for them.
Yeah. And I might interrupt you to be like, oh my gosh, let's talk about this. And for some of them, I might just nod, or for the podcast listeners, I might just say, or something like that.
And in that, we say, I stand with them.
Yes.
I stand with their decision. Coming off the top, this is actually going to be a big one, and I feel like we're going to pause to talk about it. Tip Hayes has signed with the Golden State Valkyries.
This is huge. She is huge. A veteran leader. She is one of the most explosive guards. She's like my age and is playing like a puppy out there with the brain of a big dog, but the heart and body of a puppy.
Mm-hmm. Bow, wow, wow.
Bow, wow, wow.
Good luck trying to get a shot up between Kayla Thornton and Tip Hayes locking you fucking down.
That is going to be exciting and fun. I love both of them. Like, they're both great basketball players, obviously, but more importantly, often to us, they're fun. They're interesting. Fun. Fashion line, Papa John's passion. These players have everything.
Comedy chops. Tip Hayes already put up a TikTok of her and Kayla Thornton vibing at the Valkyries practice facility. So, I mean, the content has begun, y'all. And I think with Tip Hayes signing to the Valkyries, maybe it'll attract some more people.
What an arc the last few years. Retiring, coming back to the Aces, having an incredible year in Unrivaled, and now going to this Golden State team, helping them establish their identity for the first time in the league. Always shouting out Tip Hayes.
Always shouting out Tip Hayes. Please send us clothes from your fashion line.
Oh my gosh.
Another person leaving the Las Vegas Aces, Alicia Clark, returns home to the Seattle Storm. She won 2 championships with them, and she said, let's give it another go, baby.
Check on your Aces fan friends, Who's still there?
It's slim, and guess what? It got even slimmer, because I'm going to say the next update.
Oh my gosh.
Sydney Colson, face of the league, funniest in the league, signs with the Indiana Fever. There goes your locker room culture.
This shocked me. We are constantly saying on this podcast, this team needs a Sid Colson type.
Yep.
We're constantly saying that. And for the Fever to not just get a Sid Colson type, but to get the Sid Colson, that's huge.
Yeah. Don't go for the imitator. Go for the real thing.
I think they could. I'm not saying they will, but I think they could win a championship. They've got the pieces, and now they've got great locker room gal.
Wow. Yeah. Personality hire.
Personality hire, Sid Colson. Also just really solid backup point guard, Sid Colson. Come on.
She always gets in there. She shifts the momentum of the game, and maybe she's not going to be the person that's scoring 20-some points, but she's going to fuck some shit up for the other team just by getting in there and getting messy. So shout out to the Fever for bagging her. She gave a really nice interview with AU talking about sort of like why she decided to do it, and Kelsey Mitchell was actually a really big part of it. They were players together at Athletes Unlimited, and I think they have a really strong bond, and that was a big pull for Sid after talking to Kelsey, and also Kate Martin talking up Caitlin Clark. She said, I want to play with someone like that. So yeah. Sid, we will follow you to the edge of the earth, honey.
Oh my gosh, I'll follow you anywhere. Face of the league.
Face of the damn league. But there are some good things happening in Las Vegas. Cheyenne Parker-Tyus, Amelia's best friend and crush, has signed with the Las Vegas Aces. Shout out Cheyenne, CPT, let's go. And Tiffany Mitchell signs with the Las Vegas Aces. Go Gamecocks.
Go Gamecocks. I mean, the Cheyenne Parker-Tyus move is big because we've been saying it's big because they need a big. We've been saying that for years. Yeah.
A big who can score.
A big who can score. So congrats to Las Vegas. And I would say like, oh, Atlanta's really going to miss her, but they've brought in 2 bigs, so they're fine. It seems like a good situation for everyone involved.
Yeah. I think the Aces still don't have a championship team, but I think with what they have, the moves that have been made out of Las Vegas and into Las Vegas, they got a pretty good team.
And it seems like they've got a plan, because if what they knew was like, all right, this team we have isn't a championship team, I don't think they're blowing it up to like do a rebuild. Obviously not, but they're blowing it up to make it look like very, very different. And I think Becky, at least, I trust her. I don't trust anyone else in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I trust Becky. Like,
now she's backpedaling. You got to think about the consequences of what you're saying right now.
I trust Becky's basketball mind.
Yes.
I'll say that.
When it comes to basketball, yes.
Yes.
Everything else outside of that?
And fashion, yes.
Blazers and hoodies, absolutely.
Absolutely.
What else is happening around the league? Grace Berger, who is waived from the Fever, signs with the Lynx. Erica Wheeler, who signs with the Seattle Storm, so leaving the Fever.
Seemed very enthusiastic. I mean, I guess all these players signing seem enthusiastic, but Erica Wheeler specifically seemed very excited to be in Seattle.
Yeah, so some things happening in Seattle, some things getting shaken up. Zaya Cook signs with the Seattle Storm. Sammy Whitcomb leaves the Seattle Storm to go to the Mercury. And Mercedes Russell leaves the Seattle Storm to sign with the Los Angeles Sparks. So those are all the contracts that have been signed. We had some trades happen in the past few weeks. We were just talking about the Las Vegas Aces, and the Las Vegas Aces got Dana Evans from the Chicago Sky in exchange for Las Vegas's 13th and 22nd draft picks in this year's draft. That means that the Sky now have 9 total draft picks in this 2025 draft.
If you're good at basketball this year, you should start looking for an apartment in Chicago.
Yeah,
it's happening.
You better start putting pickles on your hot dogs, because you're going to Chicago, babe.
They do that, don't they?
They do.
That's pretty good.
It's delicious. So Dana Evans, welcome to Las Vegas. And then another trade just happened. Lexi Brown to the Seattle Storm. In exchange, the Sparks received the 21st 2025 draft pick and the 2027 draft pick. So Juju Watkins, welcome to the welcome to the Sparks in 2027.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. We got to talk about some sad news.
Some really sad, awful week for Katie Lou Samuelson.
Pretty rough week.
Pretty rough week. She has parted ways with the Indiana Fever. Got paid out to leave.
So that part's good.
Yeah.
I like when players get paid.
Yes. I'm interested to see where she goes. I think she has to be scooped up. She's doing so well in Unrivaled, not in the one-on-one tournament, but I'm excited to see where she goes, and I hope it's somewhere that her and her family are able to feel settled.
Yeah.
When you have a kid, it's hard to get waived and have to find somewhere new. It's like, damn.
Maybe somewhere on the East Coast, because then she could like get on that Amtrak to go visit her sister in DC.
Maybe DC will take her.
Maybe.
We've got 2 Samuelsons on the Mystics.
I know. We were deprived of the chance to see the Sabalis on the court on the same team. So maybe we'll get the Samuelsons on the court together. Could be.
Could be. So Katie Lou Samuelson, we love you. Excited to see where KLS ends up. Maybe it's the Valkyries, honestly.
The other part of her bad week is she had to face off against Phee in the first round of the one-on-one tournament, that's not good. That's not good.
Anyone faced off against Phee, it ended up not being good for, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about this last thing that sending prayers up to Jordan Horston, who tore their ACL in AU play. Unfortunately, will have to be out for the season with the Seattle Storm.
There's a GoFundMe going around. I think some of the Tennessee fans have set up for Jordan because I guess, I don't know exactly how it works, but when you're injured, you don't draw your full salary. Yeah, prayers up. And if you feel like it and you're able, give a little money to... Maybe vet it, because I don't know. I don't want to tell you to give to a GoFundMe that's like just somebody scamming. But if it seems
do your
legit,
own research.
do your own research.
As the doctor once said to me, do your own research.
Didn't he also say, okay, I love you?
Yeah, he also told me he loved me. And that man saved my life. So you know what? I did do my own research. So that was the league news. And also gotta say, Asia Wilson's shoes dropped and they are cute as hell.
They are
I don't
so
think
cute.
I'm going to wear a pink colorway, but I'm waiting for the other colors.
As soon as it's possible, I will be purchasing an Asia Wilson shoe. I'll probably get some sort of Asia Wilson sweatshirt. I'm back on merch.
Yeah, she's back on her merch era. Speaking of merch, I got a little new merch.
No one watches men's sports. In the famous style of everyone watches women's sports, which Kelsey
I will be wearing this to
also has.
the UCLA USC game on March 1st. Very excited for that. And
Beautiful.
I also just need to say this isn't necessarily news, but I've been eating good over here.
Ooh, for those of you just listening, Kelsey is holding up an Angel Reese's Puffs box. It's
Shout
an
out
empty
to Kendall.
box.
Kendall, friend of the pod, for seeing this in the grocery store and buying them for me and gifting them to me. They have been delicious. I ate them for breakfast. I ate them for dinner. I was living off those Reese's Puffs. The box is empty. I'm saving it now just as like a souvenir.
Just for your grandkids. Yeah.
This is for my damn kids, for my grandkids, my great grandkids. When women's sports have been taken away after. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cut
No, it's
that
okay.
part. We gotta cut that part. No, we gotta leave it in.
We gotta leave it in. We're making a record of the time.
But let's move on, because Angel Reese was doing a lot more than just being on the cover of my Reese's Puffs and launching her own McDonald's ad during the Super Bowl with a wonderful. I mean, honestly, I feel like we should talk about the Super Bowl ads really quickly.
Really good ads.
Really good ads. Shout out to Angel and her Angel Reese meal at McDonald's. In her commercial, she had Lisa Leslie, Boom Boom Room.
Ms. Boom Boom.
Miss Boom Boom. She had Lotto. She had Stewie. She had Aaliyah Del Rosario, her LSU teammate. She had someone who was an Angel Reese fan in the stands cheering for Angel Reese at a Chicago Sky game, like one of her biggest fans. She put her in the commercial. So shout out to that commercial, and also shout out to the Nike commercial. The first time Nike has had an ad in the Super Bowl in like 27 years, and it was all around female athletes.
It was great.
We got to see Asia. We got to see Sabrina. We got to see Caitlin Clark. We got to see Juju.
Yeah. It was a great ad.
It was really good.
It left me. I had chills.
Sha'Carri.
Yeah. It was great.
Sha'Carri's doesn't play women's basketball, but she probably could. She'd be great.
She could. I think
My
she
God.
could.
Imagine her running up and down the court. But yeah, that was just also like it's nice to see the W having such a big presence in the Super Bowl.
That's the second coolest thing Nike has done recently. The coolest thing is the A1 shoe.
Sure.
Yes.
The third thing is the UNESCO ad that they put up after.
Yeah, that was
game
really good.
3 of the.
And the fourth
finals.
is they gave me a free egg and cheese sandwich outside of the Liberty championship celebration. So really, Nike's just been doing it lately.
Nike's been doing it.
Apparently, they really need to, because everybody's wearing New Balances right now. And Hoka's. That's like the fashion shoe right now. And so Nike's like, whoa. We are cool.
But for athletics, are you wearing?
I don't know what it
New
is
Balance?
for athletics, but I think like Nike, a lot of people just wear for fashion purposes,
yeah.
Nikes.
Damn, once Cameron Brink drops her New Balance basketball shoe. Sorry, Nike, it's over for you.
Sorry, Nike, it's over.
Once Vans starts getting into basketball sneakers, which is the sneaker that I wear is Vans, it's over for you hoes. I don't know. What athlete do you think would sign with Vans for like a basketball?
I was just trying to think. Who's a little bit alt?
Who's a little bit Ryan Howard.
Yeah, Ryan Howard for Vans. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The nose ring, just the attitude. Speaking of attitude
and Ryan Howard, let's talk about Unrivaled, because it was freaky deaky this past week.
Yes.
We had 2 games on Friday. For week 4, we welcomed back Lisa Leslie to the Boom Boom Room. They heard us. They heard our prayers, and they brought our girl back.
I think they must have listened to the podcast because we're not letting a day go by without Lisa, without calling it out. And she's back, baby, and she's boom booming. She did at one point.
Booming.
What did she say? She said the big girls need to use their junk in the trunk. I love it. I'm fine with the other two and Lisa, but I just need Lisa.
I need Lisa. She's bringing a different type of commentary that makes me feel like I'm watching basketball with somebody that's my friend.
Yes. My smartest friend. My friend that knows the most about basketball.
Yeah, and is going to say things like boom, boom room.
Yeah, because that's fun and that breaks through. I don't want to hear just stats. I want to hear things like boom, boom room, junk in the trunk. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like Brandon Gleason, he can't let go of mentioning the fouls that happened in the WNBA finals between Stewie and Phee. Like he's always like, oh, they're going to call that travel this time. And it's like, brother, get over it. Damn.
We are in a whole new league.
Don't talk about summer play.
Don't talk about the other women's leagues. We're not talking about it. This is here. This is now. So let's talk about it in the Boom Boom Room.
Let's talk about the Boom Boom Room. That's what I want to be talking about. But we had 3 games over the course of 2 days before we got into the one-on-one tournament. We had Lunar Owls versus Phantom. You know who won. It was the Lunar Owls. Hootie hoo. We had the Rose versus the Mist. Shout out to the Rose, to Angel Reese, my serial queen, for the win. And then we had the Mist versus the Lunar Owls, which, again, you know who won. It was the Lunar Owls. And I think there was a little bit of fraughtness coming out of that game. Rickea Jackson tweeted about the refs.
I think Rickea said something during the one-on-one tournament to camera about the refs.
So she went on Twitter after the game of the Mist versus the Lunar Owls, talking about how the refs have to be better. And then when she won her first round of the one-on-one tournament, she said, this is going to be great as long as the refs aren't on their bull crap, I believe is what she said.
She said bull crap.
And we can talk about this later, but I think there's being on camera and talking about it, and there's retweeting things that people are saying. 2 different approaches. I
think it's more entertaining to be on camera, but I do think both are valid. Both are valid. And I will support my best friend through any crash out. Yeah,
and both have equity in this league that they're speaking out against.
I know. So
there was 3 games. There was supposed to be 4, but the Laces Vinyl game got canceled due to too many players being injured. They're trying to protect these players, and there just wasn't enough people on the Laces to be able to play, even though they did sign Kiki Jefferson to a hardship contract. It's just, I think we're seeing... And we're learning for the next season of Unrivaled, we got to give more rehab time to these players.
Yeah. And I think that theme of, there aren't enough players to play carried into, that's a great transition to talk about the one-on-one. Because if you made your bracket, sorry.
Yeah. If you predicted that Kayla McBride was going to win everything, Kelsey, you have egg on your face because they combined the brackets, took out everybody who was injured or about to be injured or recouping from injury, except for one, who I think who we got to wrap in bubble wrap, and made it a little bit smaller. And I'm also, honestly, I'm glad because I don't want to sit through all of those one-on-one games.
It needed to be over the course of more nights if it was going to be more games.
I also think like the broadcast for the one-on-one games was giving like corporate function. Like there was so much dead air.
Taping the
I thought that was so bootleg. Like it was like it just felt like crazy.
My thing that bothered me was like I know they had to fill a lot of time because there were only 10 minutes of play for each game, but they were interviewing these players far too much. This is how every single player that got interviewed was like, hey, I had to work really hard.
Yeah, they're all like about to like fucking keel over.
Yes.
It was, I think the production of this one-on-one tournament, I loved the games. The play, great. The actual production surrounding it, it was all wild. But I will say the one thing that I did like about it was each player got to choose their walkout music. Yes. And Luxie Hall took a $1,000 bet to come out to what is it?
Was it Set It Off?
Set It Off by Boozy, and everyone was so like rocked by it.
$1,000? I would play almost any song
almost
for
anything.
$1,000. Yeah.
But Kalia Copper bet Lexi Hull she wouldn't come out to it for $1,000, and she said, all right, it's on, and she got her money. And there's a really great video of Courtney Williams reacting to the song being played and being like, oh, who's coming out to this? And then it was Lexi, and she was absolutely floored by it. So thank you.
You know what?
Thank you for that, Lexi Hull.
These players are getting paid, and they're using their money to give us
entertainment,
funny moments. Yeah. So pay these players
here's
more.
the content.
And they will give each other money to do dares. And this is the kind of summer camp vibe that we were thinking, like, are there going to be pranks? Are there going to be jokes? They're delivering.
They're delivering. We're getting cooking shows featuring, multiple players.
We're getting Disney adult content.
Unfortunately, we are getting Disney adult content. We're just getting it all. So let's get into the tournament. There was 3 days, like we said. Monday was the original, knockout round. We had some pretty big upsets and surprises. Shout out to Aaliyah Edwards for absolutely shutting down Stewie. Stewie with the goose egg.
It was wild. Even Stewie looked like not even mad, but just kind of like, whoa.
I think Stewie didn't know what she was getting into. I think she thought she was going to have more time to be able to, even things out. And it's like, no, this is a fast game. It's the first to 11.
Stewie is in her I'm not touching a basketball era. Do I think Stewie is like playing basketball outside of any Unrivaled practice? No. I don't think so at all.
Think Stewie's like, I'm with my kids in Miami. I'm in Miami. I want to have this week off. So I'll participate in this one-on-one.
But I want to be clear. I don't think she threw the game.
No.
I think she underestimated Aaliyah. Yes. And I think a lot of people underestimated Aaliyah, and she got.
Mm-hmm. Aaliyah should have won this whole damn thing, and we'll get to that a little bit later.
A really wild path to the spoiler alert, but to the finals. The people that Aaliyah had to knock out to get there, unreal competition.
Arike. She knocked out Arike. Alicia Gray. It's crazy.
I think we do have to talk about a little gremlin named Skylar Diggins-Smith, who that is my new motto. She said, I'm just going to get out there and try to be a gremlin.
She debuted the strategy that I think a lot of Lunar Owls took, and kind of only the Lunar Owls took, which is foul as much as humanly possible. Because you can't foul out of a one-on-one game, and you can stop their momentum.
It's a good strategy, but it is not fun for the viewer.
She stayed in her villain mode, and it was interesting to see, people react to this strategy. So the matchup between Rakia and Jackie Young, first of all, Jo, I think I'm going to medevac you out of Miami.
Yes.
I think there needs to be an intervention. Jo, please stop playing basketball. Save yourself for Las Vegas, because she went down during this one-on-one, and she needs time to recoup and heal.
Yeah, she went down bad a few weeks ago when I was at the games, like the first week of the month. She's not okay. And I understand that she wants to win $200,000,
But girl, you also have a $200,000 contract with the Las Vegas Aces. So
I know.
Let's put things in perspective here. But we need to protect Jo at all costs. It's time for her to say, you know what, Unrivaled, I'm not Unrivaled. I'm protected.
I think we are getting close to a Marina Mabry debut. And I think Jackie Young should take over the cooking show.
Yes.
I think they should just swap
roles.
That's going to be open. She can still be in Miami hanging out.
The world's quietest cooking show with Jackie Young. She doesn't say much.
I bet there's a market for that. Yeah. Just watching someone cook, but not.
And then at the end, just being like, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I bet she'd be great. The silent assassin of the kitchen.
Yeah, it'd be ASMR cooking, basically.
But yeah, it was sad at the end of the game when Jo went down. Rakia just had to she was like, oh, do I take it easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, made me sad.
But she won, and then in the next round, it was Rakia, bullcrap refs, and Phee feeling fraught in that one-on-one matchup.
the person who hired all these refs versus the person that just called the refs bullcrap refs. I don't think that's a good idea, Rakia.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Rakia
Leave that to
obviously
us.
yeah, leave that to us. Leave that to us on the mic, who will never meet any of these people. And if we do, we'll just be like, oh, ha, 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 ha. We were joking.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah. But obviously Phee won. But there were some other like great matchups here. Arike versus SDS was really fun to watch. SDS again trying to be that villain. Sweet Baby Ray showcasing to us that Jewel is in her flop era. I really hope that Jewel's got to get it together. She's about to like have a lot of pressure on her at the Aces, and she's been kind of flopping.
Yeah, but you don't mean like flopping like Benajelini Hamilton.
No,
flopping.
she's being
like
a
in
flop.
her flop era.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
I hope Jewel shows up in Vegas and is an absolute menace.
I want her to be stunting on these hoes, and right now she's not stunting on these hoes.
You know who was stunting though? Azure.
I love Azure. I think
too.
this has been we've already talked about it, but this league has really been an opportunity for some of like the lesser known players who are just so fucking good to like come out and be like, hello, look at me. We got Shakira Austin, hello, look at me. Sweet Baby Ray, hello, look at me.
Aaliyah Edwards, the ultimate hello, look at me.
Yeah, honestly. And I think like it was just so fun to watch. And like I said, Lunar Owls had the strategy of let's foul the shit out of people. So when Courtney Williams faced off against Ryan, she started out big and literally like jumped on her back to like block a shot.
Yeah.
And Ryan was pissed.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be pissed too. Because if Ryan had done that, like there were a few drives to the basket that if Ryan had fouled Courtney the way that Courtney fouled Ryan, they would have called it.
Mm-hmm.
And as a little dog, I understand. You got to use what you have. But I understand a big dog would be mad.
Yeah, I do think that was something interesting that Kalia Copper was like, the bigs should have their own bracket. And I do see that because there was, like when Aaliyah was going up against Alicia Gray, like she kind of like really like bumped her just because she's like a big and like she's big body, big bends, big whatever, to quote, she who shall not be named. Yeah. And like, Alicia went down pretty hard, and it felt like she like maybe could have potentially had like a hit her head pretty hard. Like she was kind of like out of it for the rest of that game. So there is something to be said about, a big going full force versus like a guard going full force. But that's competition, baby. So in the paint, we're all the same size.
Truly. And, Arike is a guard, but is like, I don't know, as strong as anybody out there.
So it's like an interesting thought, but it is like whether you were big or you were a guard, nobody was beating Phee. And that's sort of just like what it came down to.
Yeah. Someone DM'd me and asked who I thought was going to win. And I said, my heart is telling me Aaliyah, but my head is telling me Phee. Mm-hmm. And that's how I went into this final.
This final of, Husky versus Husky. It was 3 Huskies and 1 Fighting Irish in those final 4 between Azure, Aaliyah, Nafisa, and Arike. So I guess Gino, shout out. But let's just talk about that final. They switched it up and it became a best of 3 for the finals, which I think is bullshit. So for literally everything else, it'll be a best of 1, but then for finals, it'll be best of 3. Not even semifinals, they had it being best of 3, and then finals also best of 3. It's just sort of
also,
like,
if it was like on the next night, maybe a best of 3, but to have them play and then go into a best of 3, they were so tired.
And then change the amount of score that you have to get to. Like, I just don't sort of understand.
And then start calling travels during the final round of it, that when you haven't been calling traveling violations for the rest of it.
These refs are fucking all over the place. I just
They're
think that
all over. They let them play. They did not call any fouls for most of it.
They really
and
let
then
the
they
girls
decided,
play.
like, we're sick of calling fouls. Now we're going to call traveling.
I just found my whistle, so it's time for me to start using this thing.
But I don't mean to be a hater, because Phee is like one of the best basketball players in the world.
Yeah.
And congrats to Phee for winning $200,000 that she fund. You know what? If you raise those funds, they should go to you.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't a non-profit. This is a for-profit.
It's not. This is a for-profit. So a lot of people were saying pay the fee. That's fun. That's clever.
That's really fun. Yeah, so I can understand like, the uneasiness of like, okay, yeah, she's co-founder of the league. Her husband is president of the league. Like, should she be the one that wins it all? Is this a little like,
It's a little annoying, but also she did it.
But also she's like so fucking good. Like,
and I'm sure it's great for Unrivaled in a way because the narrative is like Stewie and Phee are the best basketball players in the world and they've made this league. And they are. Like, Stewie's coming off a championship.
Right.
Phee is winning every game of the regular season and then also this one-on-one. I'm sure it's great for Unrivaled, but I think it would have been fun if 8th seed Aaliyah Edwards had won and she
There's your
almost
narrative.
did. There's your narrative.
We love an underdog. And that's the thing, is I'm always going to root for the underdog. But I do think, like, Phee is just so fucking good. She's leading everything
She's so good.
in every stat for Unrivaled. So, like, of course she's going to win this game. But it is very funny to see people in the comments kind of dunking and taking away. Because if we remember, after Game 5 of the WNBA Finals, people are trying to take away. So it is sort of like no one can ever win, no one can ever win and no one can ever be happy.
I think that Nike ad said, you can't win, so win. And to Phee, I say, you can't win, so win your own league.
But it is very much like Trump making himself president of the Kennedy Center and putting himself as like the star of Oklahoma or something.
Okay, yeah, but it would be like, it would be like if Trump made himself the head of the Kennedy Center, cast himself in Oklahoma, and then it turned out he was like the best actor of our generation. Like, Phee
We're weeping as he sings "Oh What a Beautiful Morning." We're like absolutely like,
yeah, it would be like you have to have the talent. You have to have the talent to back it up, which Phee does.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Trump. I've never seen him perform. But congrats to Nafisa Collier, MVP. I will not be calling you
long
circular
roundabout way. We got to get back.
But anyway, I won't be calling you Queen Phee because to me, Queen Bee is the only queen. But I will be calling you MVP. And I do think Nafisa Collier, MVP of the 2025 WNBA.
She is locked the fuck in.
She is locked the fuck in. Here we go. Asia's distracted with her shoes. Phee is locked in.
And then we got some people saying that Caitlin Clark is going to be it. So let's just, it's
Could
all
be.
swirling,
Who
honey.
knows?
Could be. Who knows? We're not making that prediction right now, but we did make our prediction for, what did we say? Most improved player or sixth woman of the year?
Yeah.
We
Sweet
already
Baby Ray.
claimed something.
Yeah. I think Ray Burrell most improved player.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe now I'm saying Aaliyah Edwards most improved player. Who knows?
Honestly?
Who freaking knows?
Who freaking knows?
And this is what I'll say is I've seen in a lot of, with these signings and trades, a lot of comments that are like, this means the Sparks are a lock for the championship next year. This means the Fever are a lock for the championship. If anybody tells you they are certain a team will win, they don't watch the WNBA.
Absolutely not. One of your little stars gets an injury, that changes the entire freaking season. Lest I remind you of the Washington Mystics. Plagued by injury in 2023, plagued by injury in 2024, but they had the lineup that was fucking nasty. And you know why? Because in 2023 they had Elena Deladon, baby. Come on.
You thought we
Can't
almost
do a
finished this
podcast
episode without talking
mentioning
about her.
My girl, my goat. She's not my goat, actually.
No,
I don't
she's
know.
Not your goat, but
her.
we want closure. But like I said, sometimes you don't get it.
She's my goat in woodworking.
Oh, absolutely.
Geppetto, move over. Elena Deladon is the goat of woodworking.
Oh my gosh. Well, if we're talking about goats, I think we can say that like all of these players goated. Everyone involved with women's basketball is a goat.
Mm-hmm.
Except
the refs.
Bye.
Bye.